Yes, I did ramble on for 10 minutes, but it was all to lead us up to this one amazing moment.
Hello and welcome to Auto Shenanigans. How the devil are you? Have you had a good week? The channel has hit 100,000 subscribers. But seriously, thank you guys for sticking around and subscribing. It's been quite a journey over the last couple of years. Speaking of journeys, I thought you guys might like to come along with me on a special road trip that I've arranged just for us. We'll be taking in a few of the sides and looking at how things have been for Auto Shenanigans over the last couple of years. I'm really looking forward to this one because for once, I don't have to do any of the driving. I did say it's a special sort of road trip, and for this, I've hired myself a chauffeur to drive me around. And in fact, he's just arriving now to pick me up. Yep, I totally got us a plane. He's not a chauffeur, he's a pilot. I did say it was a special road trip. This is a PA 28181 aircraft manufactured by Piper and introduced in the late 1970s. And you can tell it's like a Ming 0360 engine under optimal conditions will deliver 15 miles per gallon. It's a 4-cylinder engine and it delivers a whopping 180 horsepower. 180. Is that it? Will it get us off the ground? Can we do that?
Maybe.
Okay, cool.
No, it won't actually, although it wasn't really our fault. Hello there, Studio John here. You know, if I make an appearance halfway through a video like this, something's gone tits up. And yeah, it kind of has. Having filmed that lovely introduction and set the whole story up, about 20 minutes later, it was announced that all flights were grounded. Fuck. The reason was because of the weather. You can't really see it in the video, but it was really windy and gusty, and there were a lot of aircraft coming into land, having to do go-arounds, and, well, basically, it wasn't going to happen. So that was that. There were no alternatives, and I definitely didn't have a backup plan in place. We kind of sat around for a couple of hours, hoping that the weather would improve, but it didn't, and with people starting to head home for the day, it looked to me like the entire video was going to be a write-off. But then, at the absolute last minute, a voice pipes up from the corner of the room and says, "All right, mister, I've got a plane and I can take you up." Okay, who the hell is this guy? Turns out this guy is a 21-year-old youth who happened to be hanging around the airfield that day with his janky Cessna. It's not quite the streamlined Piper PA-28 that I booked and paid for, but what else am I going to do? Janky Cessna it is. On with the show.
So here I am, sat in the back, awaiting takeoff. We'll be taxiing to the runway shortly, no doubt. If you're interested, we're flying from Elstree Aerodrome in Hertfordshire. What's interesting about this one is that unlike a lot of airfields, it existed before World War II as a grass runway. It was actually part of the Aldenham Country Club, and it was put in place to give their high-end clientele somewhere to land their planes when they wanted to stop in for a quick game of polo. When the small disagreement of 1939 to 1945 occurred, the airfields were swiftly commandeered for use in the war effort and concrete runways were added. Today, apparently, it's one of the busiest airfields in the country.
Just down there, guys, is South Limb Services. You'll find it at Bignell's Corner next to the M25 on the A1 M25 junction. It opened in around 1987 and it was Welcome Break that took over in 1988. When I started the channel, the first proper series that I put some level of effort into was the All the Motorway Service Station series. As the name suggests, I visited every motorway service station, give or take. It really threw me in the deep end of content creation with near 20-hour filming days, and, well, I had no idea what I was doing, so to say it was a learning curve would be a bit of an understatement. It seems like such a long time ago now, but it was only July 2021 that the Motorway Service Station series was released. I'd lost my job a few months prior, and obviously with the whole pandemic thing happening, as far as I was concerned, I was never going to get a job, so I thought the best solution would be to start a YouTube channel. So I started the channel, and of course the views to begin with were suboptimal. I thought it would do really well straight off from the offset, but this is the thing about YouTube that you don't realise. It's like a startup business. For the first few years you need to invest a lot of time and a lot of resources, all seemingly for nothing, or in this case, no views. That said, whilst initially it didn't perform very well, the Service Station series will always be close to my heart because, well, it was the first series that I did where I started to take things seriously, and upped my game a little bit and yeah, started to think YouTube could potentially be a serious thing. Probably because I had no other options available to me at the time. It's literally a last-ditch attempt at something. With the service station series coming to an end in 2021, the next thing that I did was Britain's Abandoned Roads. I really enjoyed making this series, probably because the filming days were an awful lot shorter than the service stations. Just down there is the A414. This section runs between Welwyn Garden City and Hartford. There's a stretch of abandoned road that used to be part of the A414, and I made a video about it, and it was actually the last episode in the Britain's Abandoned Road series. It's quite strange actually, because I never thought a couple of years later I'd be flying over the same location, making a video about having 100,000 subscribers. With the Abandoned Road series coming to an end in early 2022, I moved on to Forgotten Racetracks, which was an awful lot of effort to make, and with not that many subjects to film, it wasn't the longest series I'd ever done. However, it lasted till around mid-March, at which point Motoring Oddities took over. I thought I'd begun to understand YouTube and how the algorithm worked a little bit. The Motoring Oddities series was sort of designed to play a little bit more into the YouTube algorithm, which is why it featured titles such as The Steepest Road or The Shortest Motorway and such like. With titles like that, I thought I'm onto a winner here. I wasn't. The views and the sub count still remained suboptimal, but they were growing slowly. At this point, the channel was approaching 1,000 subscribers, with videos seeing a few hundred to a couple of thousand views. This is lovely, but at this point, I'm now over a year and £10,000 into a YouTube channel with no real sign of much improvement. Yikes. July 2022 comes around, and it's a big moment because the channel hit its first 1,000 subscribers. And I thought, well, I'm going to attempt to drive 1,000 miles on the M25 to celebrate. A stupid idea, and spoiler alert, I failed. But it didn't matter, because I was over the moon to have hit this milestone. 9 days after releasing that video, something happened, resulting in everything changing almost overnight. That down there is the M1 motorway. It opened in 1959 and it runs for around 194 miles between London and, well, it's Micklefield, but we'll say Leeds. It was the first motorway that I covered in the Secrets of the Motorway series, and let's be frank, most of you are here because of those videos. I don't know what happened. I just had the idea of making some videos and a series about the motorway. I uploaded the first video as I usually do, and for some reason the views climbed quickly. It was 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 20, 25. It got up to 35,000 views in the first day, which for me was a first and completely unheard of.
Lead one.
Ooh, good timing there, well done. But the views kept climbing. At this point I'm looking at this thinking, what the fuck, surely there's some sort of error here, but no, it seemed to be accurate. It didn't stop either. The views and the subs kept on growing, and 11 months later I'm making a video because we've got 100,000 subscribers. Which is, for me, completely unbelievable. But you know what, it really means the world to me. I never thought we'd get the channel to this point, and to be honest, I didn't really. It's all down to you guys, the viewers and the subscribers. Without you, we wouldn't be in this position. Now, some of you are probably thinking, all right, John, calm down, mate. It's only 100,000 subscribers. In the world of YouTube, you're still a small channel. And yeah, that's a very fair point. I'd agree with you. But the thing is, whilst 100,000 subscribers to some might be a laughable small figure, to me it's pretty much everything. I don't know, over the years of my life, I never really felt that I achieved much, if anything at all. And I suppose 100,000 subscribers gives me some level of confirmation that, well, I did a thing. Well, if anything, we did a thing, because we did this. It's not just me, is it? I can't stress this enough, really. As I say, without you guys, people viewing and subscribing, none of it would have happened, would it? Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to this plane. I said that we were on a special journey, and indeed we are. Whilst you've been listening to me ramble on, pilots have been hard at work creating the greatest thing that no YouTuber has ever done, maybe. If you're a bit of a plane geek, you'll be familiar with websites and services such as Flight Radar and ADS-B Exchange. If you aren't a plane geek, these websites allow you to track aircraft in real time, and it will show you the track or flight path that they've taken. It's surprisingly fascinating. Now, if you happen to be looking at one of these sort of websites on the 25th of June, approximately 6:30, 7 p.m. in the area of Buckinghamshire, you might have noticed a small plane flying back and forth, doing something a little bit odd. Yeah, that was us. I mean, I had to do something to mark the 100,000 subscriber occasion. You didn't really think I was just going to sit in the back of a plane and prattle on about service stations for 10 minutes, did you? I mean, yes, I did ramble on for 10 minutes, but it was all to lead us up to this one amazing moment. This whole time, my expert pilots have been writing 100,000 in near enough 4-mile-high letters across Buckinghamshire. As I said, if you happen to be looking at flight radar at a particular time and on a particular day, you might have already spotted this. It probably didn't really make a lot of sense at the time. The 100,000 written via an aircraft. What an absolute amazing, awesome thing. This was such a bloody good idea, even if I do say so myself. But of course, I didn't really do anything. I had the idea. It's these guys in the front and everyone behind the scenes that made it all happen. So I can't thank them enough, really.
Well, what a day that was. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this little journey. It's taken absolutely weeks of planning. It turns out you can't just jump in a plane and go for a fuckabout. You actually have to plan things properly, so I'm amazed that we managed to pull this off at all. None of this would have been possible if it wasn't for the guys at Flight Training London who are based at Elstree Aerodrome, and of course a special thanks to Kathan and Jordan and our captain for the day, Umar. These guys have gone above and beyond to make this video happen when they didn't really need to. There's no sponsorship deals here, nobody's making any money. These guys are just genuine passionate aviators who for some reason decided to get involved in my stupid ideas. But it was really good of them to do so, so a special thanks to those guys. Like I said, without them, none of this would have happened. Right, that'll do then, don't you think? We're all off to get a well-deserved pint. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. I'll see you guys next time for another exciting episode with Auto Shenanigans. Take care, bye-bye.
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Don't worry about this, I walked into a door. The channel's currently sat at 99,997 subscribers. This is the genuine moment when the channel's going to hit 100,000. You know what YouTube's like, there's a lot of fakery. I mean, obviously the whole video you've just watched, I filmed weeks in advance. Refresh. 99,998. 100,000! 100,000. Hang on. Can you... Oh, for fuck's sake. That's 100,000. Fuck the camera. Well, I'm speechless. Well, I didn't think I'd give that much of a shit. Wow. We done it. Well done. Well done, everybody. I'm just going to sit here and look at that number. I'll see you in a bit.